Hi, I'm Dave the Mortgage Dude once again. When you're watching my videos, you may wonder, what is that above Dave's head? Right here. Because you can't see all of it. I've got the full view. You can't see all of it. That, my friends, is the wheel of an airplane. And here's the airplane. So now you know the secret. One of the things we want to talk about with mortgages is when you start thinking about your first home. We're going to talk about first homes right now. So you're going out to buy your first home. You're probably a little tight on your budget. It's hard to save money. Economy's kind of tough. Everything is expensive, and saving money is a tough thing for about everybody. But we all need to save money. That's a good thing. So if you have had the discipline and the ability and the wherewithal to save money, well, then you're way ahead of everybody. If you have not had that luxury or wherewithal or things that happen, good. If you haven't had that happen, well, it's a little bit more of a struggle. And then people want to say, well, Dave, what about if I do 100% financing? Well, you know, it's always put a lot more, better idea to put a lot more down on a house. The more you put down on a house, the cheaper the payment's going to be and the lower the cost is going to be. You're going to get a little bit better interest rate, and you're not going to have to pay mortgage insurance if you put 20% down. Get into all that stuff. I'm going to save you the time and let your loan officer give you exact numbers, different scenarios and what have you. But what I'm going to talk about is basically you're thinking about buying a home. So we have two different ways you can go. You've saved money, you haven't saved money. Okay, well, you say, well, I haven't saved money, so I'm not going to buy. Okay, well, if you don't buy, wait till you save it, and then you'll have it, and then be smart and buy it. Now, there are financial experts that will tell you, don't buy till you have cash, or don't buy till you at least get by with mortgage insurance. I'm one of these people that believe mortgage debt is good debt, and you always want to make your debt be as inexpensive as possible. So that's where a good loan officer will help you out. Now, if you have not saved the money, you have no option other than to wait. So let's talk about what happens when you wait. You're looking at a house. Let's just say that house is $300,000. And what payment would that be? Whether you can afford it, whatever. You might not be able to afford. You might not be able to afford more than $100,000 or what have you. I don't know. Your income is your income. But let's just talk generalities. In the national market, $300,000 home is probably about what most first homes are going to be, $250,000 to $350,000, wherever you might be. So let's just say you're looking for a $300,000 home. Well, if you put off buying that for 6 months, what's that house going to cost in 6 months? So it's probably not going to be $300,000. And I can tell you from experience, most of the properties that I'm closing today were much cheaper 6 months ago. So you have to factor that is in your cost. So if you wait 6 months, that property goes up to $310,000, that 6 months just cost you $10,000. You may save a little bit more money, and maybe you now have the down payment, maybe you don't. You're still back in the same point. So there's a place where you've got to make that decision that I need to move forward and buy that house. So let's talk about if you do have to buy it and you don't have the savings and you put on an FHA loan is 3.5% down. There's conventional loans where you can put 3% down, or some creative stuff where you do 1% down or no percent down. So that's helpful if you do that, and there's different ways it might work for you. But either way, you're putting down a lower down payment or no down payment, and you're getting into that house sooner than later. You're going to save that cost. You can get in there. So what I would suggest you think about is buy the house today and get down the road, get 6 months, a year down the road, and take a look and see your value is going to be higher than that house is. And then you have time for rates to lower so you can refinance that house. Now we can get into when refinance is good or not. I'm going to make another video on that, but it is possible, and there are ways to make sure that that refinance transaction does not put you further in the hole. So the idea is to constantly save money. So you save by not waiting on your house to go up, number one. You have now the opportunity of lowering your rate at some point, number two. And number three is you have a place to live. You're not throwing away on rent or living with your parents or your sister or your commune, whatever you do. So keep that in mind. Do not turn down. Somebody's calling me. See, people call me all the time. What in the world is this? All right, I'm not interested in talking to them right now. So you can get that house now instead of later. Get the right loan officer, build that relationship, and you get that advice, and you'll get in that house sooner. So The whole thing is save your money, and in transaction today, it needs to ultimately save you money from later. Don't go out and buy as much house as you can buy. So we're going to put this to an end here. Think about buying a house now. Try to look at it. Look at your budget. Think about it. Keep an eye on your credit score. You want to see what your credit score is. There are ways to improve credit. I'm going to do a video on credit. There's a lot of things online you can look up, but I will do one. So look on the website here and see if the credit video will help you out. I'm going to do some credit information, but take that information, keep it, worry about your credit score, get your credit score as high as you can, and then save as much money as possible. You're going to need it. Even if you're getting 100% financing, you're still going to need some money. Always get the seller to pay some of the costs if you can. Get a good realtor. It's always good to have a good realtor. Now, the last thing I'm going to add is your first home is the hardest, or maybe you haven't owned one in a while and you're trying to get back to it. It's very difficult. Things are kind of upside down right now. Like I mentioned, a lot of first homes, $250,000, $350,000, they get expensive. Where it wasn't that long ago, a good first home was $150,000. You try to find a $150,000 house today, you're really doing well. Even manufactured homes are tough to get, and they're still really expensive. They're built better. So keep that in mind too. Manufactured homes is an option. Modular homes are an option. Modular homes are done or when I say done, they're mortgaged just like stick-built homes are. There's a lot of opportunities there. However, they're hard to get. So the last thing I want to tell you, and a lot of people overlook, is think about a more rural property. Now, some people don't want to live away from work and you don't want to commute 30, 40 miles, but you can get where you're commuting 10, 15 miles from your job and you've got a home that maybe it's out in the woods and it needs some updating, but you can move into it. It's clean, terrible carpet or whatever, but you can fix carpet and paint as you go, and you're more likely to buy that at a lower cost, into the hundreds or so, or maybe even better if you're willing to do a little bit of work to it. Be a little patient with yourself and don't expect to move into a showcase right away where all your friends can come over and you can have a big party. You can do that anyway. But don't hold up buying a home. It's important to get a home. So if you buy this home and you move into it, it's out in the woods and you're okay with it, but you do a little bit of work to it, a year or two from now, you're going to have something that's worth a lot more money than it is today. And you can go buy the home of your dreams. Today might not be the day to buy the home of your dreams, but it might be the time to buy the right home. And if you want to buy the home of your dreams, that's another subject. We're talking about your first home, or your first home, getting back to it. So keep all that in mind. Email me at my email address here and be happy to answer any questions. Other than that, have a great day and look for more videos.